Hi everybody, Dr. Sam here. Hope everyone's having a good day. Today we're going to be talking to you mamas, especially you new moms, mamas to be, mamas thinking about being a mama, all of those things. And we're going to be talking about the fourth trimester. This is part of the whole process of having a child. Everything focuses so much on the pregnancy and so much on the first 3 trimesters that this fourth trimester kind of just gets forgotten about, pushed aside. Meh, baby's here, we're supposed to be fine and everything's supposed to be going smoothly. Let me tell you, that is usually not the case. This fourth trimester to me, I actually think is even more important than the first ones leading up. The pregnancy and all of that is getting so much of the attention, so much of the focus, so much of the hype, and it should. It's exciting, it's wonderful. You are growing a human being for the love of the Lord. You know, it's so cool to see, but then you go in and you deliver this baby and you then leave the hospital with a human that you now need to take care of. You need to raise, you need to make sure they're hitting all their milestones. You need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, and then you have 3 other children that you're having to keep up with and all this. So like this fourth trimester is just not only for you mom, it's for the entire family, but to focus more so on you because you're the one that went through it, that went through the stresses of pregnancy, that went through the stresses of labor and delivery, and you're going to be the one also that's going to have all, and like we're going to talk about so many things here today. You're the one that's having the dip in the hormones. You're the ones that are having the issues with like how your body's feeling, how it's looking, how it wasn't like it was before you got pregnant. And a lot of these things just kind of cycle in and they factor in, and like you're the only one that's living this through your body. No one else kind of understands other than women that have maybe gone through it themselves, but everybody's just so different. And I just want to come here today, shine some light on this fourth trimester and talk about these postpartum things and like the vibes that you might feel or not be feeling in this fourth trimester, and just to give you some light on the things that like my clients have talked about whenever, you know, they have been a client of mine during their pregnancy, before they got pregnant, if they're having fertility issues even, and they were with me through their entire pregnancy. And I've had some that drop off and they feel like they need to focus more on their children, you know, the new baby, obviously, but then they're forgetting self-care. But the women that do continue on and do the postpartum care, these are the things, this isn't stuff that I've just come up with. These are the things that clients have said to me with, man, when I continued on with care after delivering and having my baby, these are the things that I've noticed. And one child, one child I didn't continue on with postpartum chiropractic care. The other women that did, or like with one child they did and with this one they didn't, vice versa and all of that. But these are the things that are coming from the mouths of my clients that have said, wow, with continuing on with self-care, chiropractic care, these are the benefits that I have noticed. And I just want to share with you because once again, this fourth trimester is stressful. It is, you have, maybe it's your first, like I said, and you have had no idea what to expect. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Or it could be your 3rd, your 7th, or your 8th. But each child's different, each pregnancy is different, each labor and delivery is different, as it should be. But learning how to adapt to that afterwards and giving yourself grace and doing some things that once again helps you be the best mom that you can be. I want to talk about those today and once again shine light on this issue. So let's go ahead and talk about like balance and expectations. Expectations, I want to say this almost with anything, throw it out the window. The second you give yourself an expectation, you're going to find that you're going to fail in many different parts. And like I say, that could be anything within life, but especially in this fourth trimester, you see so many women that like, oh, it looks like it's so easy for them and everything's so sweet and the baby's perfect and it never cries and it never poops. Bull crap, that's what a baby does. And the stress behind it. Throw those expectations, like I say, out the window, because then that gives you each day to day, this is what it is today. It's a good day, or this is what it is today. It might not be as good of a day, but that way your expectations aren't there. And that might then also help you to find a little balance and everything else. If you're not so stressed on achieving the expectations and how they should go, you're gonna find balance within just your mental state. You're gonna find balance with how you raise this child, how you care for this child, and knowing that sometimes a baby just cries and screams and whatnot. It might just be that child's day too, you know, like they just might be having a bad day, and that's okay. And I just want moms to know, like, there's so much mom guilt in regards to being a new mom. Oh my God, the things that I hear other women say to a new mother, I'm like, you have no clue what she's going through. Or if she decides to raise her child and baby like that, that is her prerogative. That is her. And like, I want women to be able to feel like they can express with what they're doing, and they're not judged and they're not shamed. So I want this mom guilt to go out the window. Or a lot of moms feel guilty for that they have 3 other children and they're not paying attention to them near as much as they're paying attention to their baby, their new baby. And like, that's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, kids are gonna understand. If you look at many kids like growing up, they probably don't remember 2 seconds of like, oh my God, I can't remember when my mom didn't pay attention to me whenever my new little brother or sister came along. Like, they're gonna move past it. This is a phase for everybody. But once again, finding balance. If you're taking care of yourself and doing a little bit more self-care, you might be able to find that balance within all those other children, within other activities that you have going on in your life, with work. If you're like a die-hard working mom, which is totally fine too. If you're one of those that wants to hop back into work quick and like get yourself like feeling like it's you again, that's fine. That's you. If you're a mom that wants to stay home with their baby for 12 months, rock on. Like, there shouldn't be any guilt within that. And like, being happy and comfortable with where you're at and the plan that you have for yourself, let that be. Let that balance happen, and just focus on getting back to yourself and focus on self-care within yourself. And with that, our society, I feel, has made this huge push, or this huge, God, what's the word I want to use? Crazy persona of like, women should be able to just like, bam, heal, get back at it, get going again. No, your body went through, whether your birthing process and your labor and delivery was swift, easy, textbook perfect, your body still went through a major trauma. You pushed a child out of a very small area. That's gonna require healing. That's gonna require, you know, your body and like finding the right way that your body is adapting back to its new normal. Your body's gonna be different from whenever you got pregnant. And like I say, it's gonna be different if this is your 5th child compared to your 1st child, because for one, you might be 10 years older. You have obviously gone through 4 other different pregnancies. Each one of those affected your body differently, but your body healed the way that it should. It came back to the way that it did, and that's okay. Things are gonna move, things are gonna shift. But like, just be so thankful and so appreciative of what your body just did. It is a beautiful thing. And loving on yourself, healing on yourself, letting go of societal norms that say like, oh, bam, you should be back to where you were pre-baby in 2 to 4 weeks. BS. Like, no, that is ridiculous. I find that ridiculous. So just wanted to shine a little light for y'all if you're feeling a little stressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling frustrated. Let's talk about this. Let's throw things out the window of expectations, guilt, and all of that, and let's just get focused on you, your healing process, and what's best for you. So, and like with the 4th trimester, it takes time to get back to where you feel like yourself. I think a lot of women, they don't talk about this because I think that they're, once again, so focused on appearing like everything's perfect, everything's wonderful. No, it takes time. Give your body grace, give your mind grace, give your emotional status grace, give all of that just every ounce of forgiveness that you can, because you may not feel like yourself. Talk about it. Don't hold it in, because there are so many women that have done this and they go through this and they have felt the same way. But let's say you're the one that finally says something to a friend, and that friend's gonna turn and maybe go, or that doctor or that therapist is gonna turn back to you and go, oh God, like I still don't feel like myself. You know, and it's like, that might be a way for all of us just to open this up, to bring this to the surface, And then we all feel a little bit more human. Like, it's one of those things, like if you suffer with anxiety or depression and you finally tell somebody, you almost feel like it lightens a little bit, just because someone else knows that you're struggling and they're thinking about you and they're like, hey, I've been through it too. There's nothing more freeing and nothing more gratifying like knowing someone else is in that same position as you and like talking about it and then just getting it off your chest. And it's like, versus looking like a pink penguin in the middle of a desert, you're like, oh, okay, I'm a zebra amongst, you know, other zebras. So that's a very odd analogy, but I think you get it. So what we're going to talk about today, we're just dive in right now. We're gonna go ahead and talk with, like I say, this is what clients have told me that have continued on with regular chiropractic care postpartum, not prenatal, postpartum. They have noticed their sleep is so much better. They notice that their body's able to relax back down. And like with moms and new moms, you are having to sleep when the baby sleeps. If you have your nervous system or you're just constantly worked up and like you can't take that time, just, you know, take a quick nap when the baby's sleeping. And yes, balance, once again, you have 800 things you could possibly be doing, but sleep is going to be your friend during this time. With sleep, we're going to get that more healing that we need. That body's going to get more of the calmness that it's craving. And so just like clients have said with chiropractic care, you know what, I have noticed I am sleeping better, because we're releasing tension out of your body, and without tension our body's able to just kind of relax a little bit more, able to fall into that sleep cycle a little bit quicker. Another one is mood. Whew, you women that have gone and have had a baby, hormones are all over the place. They're amped up, they're doing so good during pregnancy, and then once we deliver, those hormones take a huge dip and a huge drop. So with that comes mood changes. You may have felt like, you know, there's such a huge stigma, not a stigma, I think it's kind of lifting, thank goodness, of like postpartum depression and anxiety. It's not because it can be, I should reiterate, it can be because your world now has been turned upside down and you weren't prepared for it, and you had these expectations that we talked about and you're not meeting those. That's going to cause anxiety, it's going to cause depression. But then also the mom guilt that we talked about, throwing that out the window immediately, because then you're able to toss those expectations out, toss the mom guilt out. But then even on that factor, you're having that drop of hormones, which is going to cause our moods just to go up and down. I mean, we all remember being teenage girls whenever our hormones started shifting and changing. Holy cow, sorry mom and dad for being a little queen bee, but it's because of our hormones. And like women are just, our hormones are so much more influential on us and our mood. And so knowing that like chiropractic, we like to focus on that nervous system once again, which intertwines every other system within our body. So we have one called the neuroendocrine, and our endocrine system is the system that takes care of all of our hormones. And so if our nervous system is able to talk to our endocrine system and they are in sync, you're just going to see a better balance of those hormones even after that huge dip after labor and delivery. So with mood, you know, women have noticed like a decrease with the anxiety and postpartum depression. And this is a serious thing to me, that a lot of women, they stay quiet, they suffer through it, and it breaks my ever-loving little heart because they could have gotten the help. And I want this to shine light on you women that may be focusing, or not focusing, but maybe struggling with postpartum depression, with anxiety. Don't hesitate to talk to someone. You are not alone. You are not the only one. Don't let anyone tell you that just because there's a new baby and it's a bundle of joy, to you it might be a bundle of anxiety and stress and worry, PTSD, maybe from the one that you had before. Reach out and get help. You are not alone in this. I beg you. And like, if you need someone, call me. I can talk with you. I am not a mental health therapist, but I can help you find someone in that field that specializes in that, and we can get you talking with them. We can get your nervous system talking to the hormones within your body and helping that regulate. So please don't let this go by. If you know of a loved one that's going through this, don't let that go by. Reach out to these people. They might resist it. They might get frustrated because, once again, their hormones are all over. So hormones are going to factor into the reaction as well. So mood, like I say, it can be helped with chiropractic care. And once again, this is what clients are telling me. They also find that once they've been adjusted, I see a mom that comes in and they're tightened up and they're tense and they're just like, oh my God. And they get adjusted and they're, you notice their shoulders drop. They're taking a breath. And once again, with being a mood booster, you're at home caring for this infant. You might have 2 or 3 other kids. You see no human interaction all day for maybe weeks on time. With regular chiropractic care, my clients are like, oh my God, I get to come here. I get to interact with you, with the receptionist, with other people who are here, and I actually get some adult interaction. And like new moms crave that. So that's one thing that they notice, like, oh my God, like I am getting out of the house. They don't care how I look or how I present. They love me for who I am. They're gonna love on my children, they're gonna love on me, and I'm gonna get out of the house. And that does so much for somebody and a new mama. And like, it's so important to kind of have that adult interaction as well. So another thing that we're gonna kind of start tying into is like physical things. We just talked about some mood. We might get, let me look at my notes here. Yeah, we'll probably come back to that a little bit. Actually, no, let's jump over to this one. Let's talk about like the emotion and the hormones. And like I said, you take that dip in those like the estrogen and progesterone and all of that, and then it goes back and talks to hormones that are going up into the pituitary gland, and that's just a whole nother webinar. But whenever those are regulated properly through that neuroendocrine system, your emotions are just going to be a little bit more regulated then as well. You might not have the moments of panic and rage. You're gonna find a little bit more, versus having like these huge ups and huge downs. They might just be little road bumps. Just okay, we got the, okay, so there's just a good, we want that good signaling happening between that nervous system and that endocrine system. So then like those little road bumps is what you're experiencing, and not huge peaks and valleys. So wanted to kind of finish up, elaborate on mood, and then like along with emotions and how that's tied into chiropractic care. Now we're going to be getting into like the physical aspects, like physical feeling. We are now how we were holding the baby. We had baby right here in our tummy. Low back was probably taking a little bit of a hit. Low body was also taking a little bit of a hit. And so like, but now we've given birth, baby's no longer in the tummy, and now we're holding babe. What is the thing that we see? And like, as you should, this is totally a thing, as you should, we are hunched over. We're looking down. We're holding baby. I mean, who doesn't love sitting there holding a little baby and just staring at it? I could do it for hours on end. I wish there was a job. That would be my job. And you're just sitting there and you're looking down and you're adoring this sweet baby and you're talking to it and you're loving on it. But with that being said, my shoulder is now up. Okay, move my hair. My shoulder is now up. My head is now down. My shoulders are rolled forward. And so here we are in this position of horrible points of stress within this mom, and we actually call them the mom hot spots. It's going to be within that middle back, in the middle, in between the shoulder blades there, the base of the neck, the upper neck, and once again, like, front of the neck, height and shoulder on one side, because we are kind of prone to holding the baby on one side versus the other. And this positioning of where literally within hours we have shifted our way of having the baby in tummy to having baby up here. And so those mom stress spots that we like to call them, they need addressed, because we're going to start to release that stress and tension within the shoulders and in the upper back, as well as into the neck. And that way is going to lead, get rid of any headaches, get rid of the neck pain, shoulder pain, mid back pain, all of that. And so that's just the wonderful thing about that. And once again, shoulder tension, women just happen to have way more shoulder tension than most. It's just where we carry our stress. And within shoulder tension, we've actually seen like regulation of hormones being off. So if we can release that tension out of the shoulders and the neck, that's going to help that, once again, those hormones regulate a little bit better, because we have our thyroid and stuff like that that's regulating hormones. And so like if there's all this stress and tension within here, it's going to show within all of that. So we need to release that through those shoulders and that neck there, and that's just going to help a whole host of things, from pain to the hormones. And then the other thing too is if you have toddlers and whatnot that still want to be held, or even like your baby's getting up to that 6 month to 9 month year range, we hold them on our hip. And what do? We always pop that hip to one side, either on the right side or the left side. I know I always hold kids on my right side, so we're popping that hip up. So now you kind of throw that in too, so it's kind of like the little mom pop. And so we're doing that. It's like we just want to keep everything smooth and aligned, and with proper alignment, you're just going to have less stress within the body, less signals going up to the brain saying like, hey, this down here is like not in the right position and it's kind of throwing me off. That just kind of sends more stress signals to the brain, and that's what we're trying to get rid of. Another thing too is breastfeeding. That can be stressful if baby's maybe not latching as you would like him or her to. And once again, with breastfeeding, we're holding baby, and hopefully we're holding baby on both sides and we're nursing from both sides. On a side point there, if you do notice that your baby is not latching on one side, that is a great indicator that something is going on within their upper cervical spine. Because think about it, if you have a hitch in your giddy up on the left side or a kink in your neck on the left side, you're able to turn your head to the right perfectly, just like baby would be able to turn his head to the right perfectly and nurse that way. But let's say with the hitch in your neck and you go to turn to the left and you're only able to go this far, same thing for the baby. If it's only able to turn its head this far, it's not going to want to nurse on that left side. Not at all. I don't blame it. It's painful, or maybe they don't have that range of motion that they feel is natural for them or is like easy for them to suckle. So get them checked out also by a chiropractor. Breastfeeding issues within the baby can also be fixed by just releasing a little bit of that stress and that torsion within their neck. And like I say, baby adjustments are not even close to like adult human adjustments, not even close. It is literally just applying the pressure. If you were to be checking for like how ripe a tomato is, or if you get out a stick of butter, and I use this analogy all the time, and you get a stick out of the butter out of the refrigerator and you apply your finger right on top, the amount of pressure that we use on a baby is waiting for that butter to melt underneath our finger. That is it. Because their bodies are so small and tiny, they don't need what adults need. So once again, with the breastfeeding, if you do notice that your baby's not latching properly, please, don't be afraid to hesitate. Don't hesitate to call and say, hey, like they're not latching properly or not wanting to suckle, and like what's going on. We can get them checked too. But once again, going back to the breastfeeding, we are curled over, we are hunched over. Some of the sweetest stories I hear from moms, this is like, oh, I fell asleep while we're breastfeeding. That is fantastic. Like that bonding and like that closeness that babies need in that 4th trimester, that is perfect. That is wonderful. But if you fall asleep and you're hunched over like this, that is going to cause so much pain in the neck, the shoulders, the mid-back, once again, and cause issues with headaches, migraines, and all sorts of stuff. So just pay attention to that. Baby help. We all don't need to be afraid to ask for help. It doesn't only just take a village to raise a child, it also takes a vineyard. Wine. But don't be afraid to ask for help. People, I'm the worst at this, so I can't say anything, but I'm gonna tell you. Asking for other people's help, it can be hard, but know that there's so many people that want to help you during this time. They want to get your groceries. They want to take out your trash. They want to come help you like do some laundry. Ask for that help. People, like, there's not a better time to have a sense of community once you've had your baby. So like, even just reach out to those people beforehand saying, hey, would you be willing to help me with this, this, and this? People love it and they want to help. And it's like, would you want to help? Absolutely. So just, think of it that way and just don't be afraid to ask for that help. Healing. This is going to be kind of the big finale on how chiropractic can help with your healing process. So your body, once again, has gone through an immense process, an immense stress, an immense stressful time with labor and delivery. So, sorry about that, my camera battery wanted to die, and so I got it charged up. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk about healing, and so like how chiropractic can help and make the healing process better, swifter, and smoother for you. So with healing, your body just went through an immense amount, like a stressful situation called labor and delivery. It is very intense. It is very, even though if it's perfect and wonderful, your body just delivered and had to go through so many things to get that process accomplished. And so your body's going to need to heal. With the healing process, if we are too caught in a stress, like heightened stress, heightened fight or flight, worry, 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 anxiety, 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 go, 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 our body's going to be in more of a sympathetic tone. So we have two parts of our nervous system, and this is where chiropractic is like, bam, like you can't argue it and how it helps with healing. So within our nervous system, we have the sympathetic nervous system, which is stress, fight or flight, reaction. You know, like we've all been in a situation where we know that that system's kicked on because it's like, holy cow, heart's racing, blood's pumping, you know, and we're just kind of like, ugh, holy crap, that was stressful. Then we have the other side called the parasympathetic nervous system, which normally that is a sympathetic, that is the system that is overriding most of our days. But in today's society, we have way more stress, I feel. We are way too busy. We are way too go, go, go. So our stress response, even subconsciously, even though women are like, I feel fine, like everything's good, like subconsciously, we're all just a little bit more stressed. So with chiropractic, we are able to work within the spine because there's two parts of our spine, which the way up top and then down into our sacrum, our tailbone area, that is where the parasympathetic nervous system resides. And so we want to get that parasympathetic tone, which is rest, digest, heal, growth, development, immune system support. When it's able to be turned on and kicked on, that's when healing can happen so much faster, so much smoother, so much more. The body's at ease, so then it's able to heal. If it is stressed out, think about it, like if we are, you know, running from a bear, we are not focusing right now on resting and digesting. We want all of our blood to be going to our legs, our arms, our heart, and our lungs to get us out of danger. That's a grandiose like explanation of the stress response, but think about it. Work, kids, spouse, PTO meetings, PTA meetings, just everyday stresses. And if we're just clicked on to that and we're just go, 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 we don't have time for the body to say, hey, oh, perfect, I can just be over here resting and digesting and healing. No, it's not going to have time to switch over to that system if that sympathetic tone is just constantly kicked on. So with chiropractic and evaluating the spine, we can check with our scanning system that we have if a person is caught more in a sympathetic fight or flight tone, or if they're in the rest, relax, digest phase and healing phase that we want them to be in. And so we want that body to be recovering and healing from the labor and delivery process. That's where moms have said, oh my gosh, from when I had my first kid and didn't do postpartum care to my second one, and sometimes the second one takes a little bit more healing, but they just noticed that their body healed quicker because they knew that their body was being adjusted properly and in a parasympathetic tone. So with that, like that's the grandioseness, I think, of how chiropractic can influence this fourth trimester, is kicking this entire system into that parasympathetic nervous system and helping it stay on more than switching over to the stress response. Because it's stressful raising a baby. It is hard, it is trying, it is overwhelming, it can be exhausting. You'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll freak out. But if we have that nervous system in check and it is highly functioning, your body's going to be able to adapt to those stresses. And it's like I say, it's not going to be so many peaks and valleys, and it's going to be more road bumps that you hit, and you're able to adapt and rebound quicker. So that's where I want people to know, and that's where my clients have said just the balancing out of stress that they've noticed with postpartum chiropractic care. And I just firmly believe like it then helps those moms, and they've said it too, it helps them be the best mom that they can be. So many times moms put themselves absolutely last. So many times because there's the mom guilt that if you do, oh God, like you're not, oh, your children aren't first? Yeah, like children need to be, yes, they are very, very important, but you know who else is important? It's the moms. And like if they aren't taking care of themselves and they aren't applying self-care, how can you be there and be the best mom that you can be for your children if your bucket and your battery is drained and dry? You just, it's hard. And that's where it can become like a downward spiral, and I don't want that to happen to any of you. I want this to bring light to all of you. And once again, if mama is happier and healthier and less stressed and balancing things better, they're going to be a better mom for their infant. And with infants, I think then we're going to be seeing a sign of like less stressed kids. Kids are stressed these days, and we're going to continue these webinars. Kids are stressed these days. I don't care what anyone says, but with mama being happy, less stress is going to lead to less stressed kids. It's going to lead to a healthier community, a healthier family, a healthier even, and this sounds crazy, but a healthier nation overall. If we were to focus more on postpartum care, almost as equal, if not more, than prenatal care. We have the prenatal care down pat. We've been doing it forever. But postnatal and postpartum care, that is where I think we need to be shining more of a light and more of a hope to these moms, these new moms, and giving them a sense of, once again, community, giving them a sense of they are heard, they understand, someone actually understands what they're going through, and just shining the light for them. So then, like I say, they can be the best mom for their entire family. And it gives, and like, they just need to put themselves first sometimes and like do that self-care, love on yourself so you can love on your family. If you have any questions on this, I am more than happy to talk with you. You can personal message me, DM message me here on Facebook, or otherwise my number is 402-432-7702, or an email is sjlwellness@gmail.com. And let's focus on you fourth trimester moms for once. Get the care that you need, take that time for yourself, and just know that like there is another outlet. There's another lens you can look for on your journey, and just know that there are people out there for you. And I can't wait to meet with some of you, talk with some of you, and it's just been a pleasure sharing this with all of you today. Bye-bye.